Hey, how's it going? Today I'm gonna do my first ever film review. This one's gonna be on The Dirt. Now, this is pretty much a biopic of Motley Crue. It was released exclusively on Netflix on March 22nd, 2019. And before I start, I do want to say there are going to be spoilers. I am a Motley Crue fan, and I have listened to all their albums, but I'm not a huge Motley Crue fan. Either way, I was really interested in this movie. It was directed by Jeff Tremaine, who did all the Jackass stuff, which I was really skeptical about, but I think he did a great job. I thought the movie was hysterical, whether it be Ozzy Osbourne's appearance at the pool, snorting ants on the ground, licking his piss and Nikki Sixx's piss, or the running gag of the girl that gives blowjobs under the table. I remember finding it funny to compare it to Bohemian Rhapsody, which was the other big biopic that just came out, and it's completely different. Don't go into this expecting it's going to be anything like that, because it is not. It is like night and day different, which isn't a bad thing by any means. I thought they did a great job on their costumes from start to finish as well. They look just like the band members, whether it be the Theater of Pain era or the Dr. Feelgood era. The soundtrack of the movie was really good too. It had like all the Motley Crue classics. The only two songs I wish they would have included at some point were Wild Side and Primal Scream. They definitely chronologically go through each album, but they pretty much completely omit Girls, Girls, Girls. They don't talk about it. The only song they played from that album in the whole movie was Girls, Girls, Girls. The movie will take you on a wide range of emotions. As I said earlier, it's really funny, but then there are some extremely sad moments, such as the death of Vince Neil's daughter. That was extremely hard to watch. And I can't imagine how hard it was for him to relive that. Not to mention the car crash where he killed Razzle of Hanoi Rocks because he was drunk driving. But that's something else I really like about this film is they didn't have any boundaries, just like their music. If something really bad happened in their career, it was going to be on the movie. How sad or bad it was, it doesn't matter. They were going to put it in there because it was a big deal. The movie ran about an hour and a half long. It's really hard to compact an entire band's history into an hour and a half. So I thought the pace was really good pretty much until they got to Dr. Feelgood. And then I feel like they crammed in like 15 to 20 years worth of history in like 10 minutes, it felt like. I wish there was like an extended cut that was like 2.5 hours for like diehard fans that would make the story fit better. One thing I was really worried about that they wouldn't mention in the movie was the fact that they got Vince Neil replaced by John Corabi. Now, I'm not a big fan of Karabi or the album they put out with him, but that was a huge part of their history. But they included him. I noticed some Guns N' Roses references, which I thought were pretty interesting. The biggest one is seeing Slash laying down on the couch in that crack house, completely passed out. I want to say Steven Adler is in the beginning of that scene as well, but I'm not 100% sure. When Vince Neil and Razzle were in the car right before the car crash happened, they were playing a game where you had to like fuck one, kill one, and marry one. And one of the people they mentioned was Boy George. Now, I used to watch The Celebrity Apprentice a lot back in the day, and Boy George was on the season that Vince Neil was on, and they got into it a lot. So I feel like they put that in the movie as like a little Easter egg or like a little shot or something at Boy George. With the whole car crash scene, I was wondering how Jeff Tremaine felt about that, with Ryan Dunn having died a few years ago from a violent car crash. That had to be emotional for him too. There is a lot of drug use in this movie, tons of cocaine use, a lot of heroin use. They'll show them like doing the actual cocaine like all the time, or shooting the heroin into the vein. Like they'll show the injections and everything. And I know my dad was extremely uncomfortable watching the heroin injection scenes. He couldn't even watch them. That's how graphic they were. I thought some of the acting was really corny, especially like when they first introduced Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee is played by Machine Gun Kelly, and he's talking to his parents and he's like, "Come on guys, get a room." Like that's just, I don't know, that's just cringy to me. And also like the little kid in the beginning, I thought his acting was lame. Now, one thing I really like about the movie is they hit the main points of their career, and they pretty much stuck true to what happened in real life. There wasn't too much Hollywood where they like changed the story. Don't get me wrong, there was some of that, but it wasn't on anything huge really. But I will say they did leave out some key moments that I was surprised about, like the whole Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee thing, and the fact that Tommy Lee quit Motley Crue at one point. I also thought it was kind of funny how when they were talking about Elektra giving the music back, they made it seem like Nikki Sixx pretty much asked for it and they gave it to him like 5 minutes later. When in reality, no, it was like a huge fiasco. The film has received mixed to negative reviews from critics, but the fans tend to love it. I would describe the film as good, not great. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. It's rated mature. I would definitely not advise watching it with your little kid or anything. Tons of sex in it. Almost every 5 minutes, Vince Neil is having sex with someone. I would recommend watching it for any rock fan or anyone that just wants to see a funny movie. I think you'll enjoy it. That's about all I got for you guys today. Please follow me on my social medias in the description. Email me at jwalker9960@gmail.com, and please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.